to be able to generate a very good report, the report that we will then be able to submit to the main house before Madam Honorable Speaker. With that guidance now, I want to invite you, Council Secretary, to make your submission to this committee. Further guidance is that you are going to, for instance, your submission starts on page 3. On page 3, you'll be reading the title. The title is on 1, construction of 1x3 classroom block at Kachire Primary School. Once you read that, then you come to the management response, which, of course, there is irregular amendment, variation without approval. Then you come to management response. After a response, you also give us the action that you have taken on the matter, action taken, and then you give us the solutions, the remedies that you think you would offer on the same. So in that fashion, may you please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Number 1 submission, Chair, is on construction of 1x3 classroom block at Kichile Primary School, Brico Mount Bepos Cooperative Society Limited. Irregular amendments, stroke variation without approval. Management wishes to report that the Council acknowledges the findings of the Auditor General. The scope of the project initially just involved repair of the blown-off roof of a 1x2 classroom block under the contingent component, but the structure collapsed during repair. See Appendix 1, Chair. The CDF committee then allocated more funds under the community projects for a new 1x3 classroom block. See Appendix 2, Chair, which shows the CDF committee minutes. The structural integrity of the structure needed to be checked in order to come up with the required scope of works. The action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the responsible officers were written caution letters to instruct them to rigorously abide by the Public Procurement Act number 8 of 2020 and the Procurement Regulations of 2022 when managing council procurements, including disasters. See Appendix 3, Chair. The project had already reached an advanced stage at the time of audit. Remedial measures, Chair. Management would like to inform you that all the structures that are applied under disaster, completion or repair will first be thoroughly checked for structural defects and structural integrity before coming up with the scope of works. Delay in completion, Chair. The physical inspection carried out on was carried out on 12. Or delay in completion. Now go straight to management response. Sorry about that, Chair. Yeah. The management wishes to report that Council acknowledges the findings of Auditor General. The project was above 70%, but the contractor would not complete the remaining works in time, citing difficulties to ferry the remaining materials to the site. Lenience was exercised as this was a cooperative based locally, venturing into major construction works for the first time, and they showed great commitment to complete the works. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the project is now completed, and the status report with the pictures, Chair, has been attached under Appendix 4. Remedial measures. Management will ensure that local contractors are given projects according to their capacity to complete the projects on time. Due diligence, Chair, will be done before award of contracts. Failure to follow tender procedures. Management wishes to report that the Council acknowledges findings of Auditor General, some solicitation documents for 12 projects under CDF would not be found due to poor filing and record keeping in the procurement unit. Additionally, the procurement officer was transferred from months before the auditors, and the handover was not done properly, Chair. Action taken, management wishes to report that all the solicitation of documents, with the exception of contract clearance letters from Auditor General on the 12 projects, were later availed to the Auditor General for verification. The consolidation documents were checked and verified as stated on page 13 of Auditor General's status report, attached as Appendix 5. The solicitation, Chair, documents have also been attached under Appendix 6 for your further verification. Additionally, Chair, the Council has now started submitting contracts for clearance with the Attorney General, as shown by the contract clearance letters under Appendix 7. Remedial measures. Management has improved the filing of documents under the procurement unity to avoid documents going missing. Management will also ensure that officers do proper and thorough handover of documents before leaving on transfer. Additionally, Chair, all contracts that require to be cleared by Auditor General will be submitted for clearance before signing. Failure to claim adverse payments. Management wishes to report that the Council acknowledges the findings of Auditor General. The Council awarded 2 contracts to Hussein Enterprise Limited to construct crossing points in the district. Upon the submission of the adverse bond, the Council paid 241,363 as adverse payment. However, Chair, the contractor failed to mobilize on site, citing difficulties to transport the box culverts to the site. The Council would not recover the adverse payment as the bonds had expired. This was caused by poor project tracking, Chair. Action taken. Management wishes to report that we have engaged the contractor and we have agreed on a payment plan to recover the funds. We have attached the letter from management to the contractor under Appendix 8 and the response by the contractor under Appendix 9. The Council has also further reported the contractor to ZPPA for failure to carry out the contract. See Appendix 10, Chair. Remedial measures. Management has introduced a project tracking sheet that will be able to alert the project manager on the project bonds that need to be renewed or recovered from the insurance company. See Appendix 11, Chair.
Yes.
I mean, a point of order, that is not a point, maybe a procedure.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. My point of procedure is that this committee, as we are sitting, we are being recorded and we might be live. Having watched actually what has been happening maybe afterwards when it is rebroadcasted, people are complaining that some witnesses are the voices are very low to an extent that they can't hear them. So I wish to appeal to you that maybe the Council Secretary could raise her voice so that at least it's audible enough for the people out there to hear what we are talking about.
Thank you very much. You are guided as such, Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. Failure to claim adverse payment. Management wishes to report that the Council acknowledges the findings of Auditor General. The Council awarded 2 contracts to Hussein Enterprise Limited to construct crossing points in the district. Upon the submission of adverse bond, the Council paid 241,363 as adverse payment. However, the contractor failed to mobilize on site, citing difficulties to transport the box culverts to the site. The council would not recover adverse payment as the bonds had expired. This was caused by poor project tracking. Action taken. Management wishes to report that we have engaged the contractor and we have agreed on a payment plan to recover funds. We have attached the letter from management to the contractor under Appendix 8 and the response by the contractor under Appendix 9. The council has also further reported the contractor to ZPPA for failure to carry out the contract. See Appendix 10. Remedial measures. The management has introduced a project tracking sheet that will be able to alert the project manager on the project bonds that needs to be renewed or recovered from the insurance company. See Appendix 11. There is the status on the infrastructure community project. So on the status of commune project chair, management wishes to report that the council acknowledges findings of the Auditor General. The council awarded completion projects contracts to 3 locally based contractors under its policy to empower local contractors in the district. However, Chair, they needed close supervision as some of their finishings were poorly done. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that we have engaged the contractors and instructed them to move back on the site to work on the observed problems, as all the 3 projects were under the rotation period. All have since moved on site and some have already completed the remedial works. See Appendix 12 for the status report on the 3 projects. Measures Chair, the management will closely monitor all the contractors and ensure that officers are present on site when they are carrying out critical works. Soft loans and covered loans installments. Management wishes to report that the council acknowledges findings of the Auditor General. 5 of 15 loan beneficiaries failed to make any payment, citing failed businesses and low financial literacy, despite the council and the bank conducting financial literacy trainings before dispersing the funds to them. Action taken. Management has engaged the defaulters, and out of the 5, 2 have started making the loan repayments. See Appendix 13. The 3 defaulters who have not cooperated have been written to Chair, informing them of management decision to take them to court to recover the funds as stated in the loan agreement form. Refer to Appendix 14. Remedial measures Chair. The management would like to report that in order to prevent the vice from happening again, the council will make sure that there is ongoing sensitization and training for potential beneficiaries. Grant empowerment. This one, Chair, it was not complete in the auditor's report, so we couldn't say anything there.
Okay.
Unauthorized transfer of funds between accounts. Unauthorized transfer of funds between accounts. Management would like to acknowledge the auditor's observation. After CDF administrative component ran out, some CDF activities amounting to 58,528 were funded using the council operation account. Therefore, Chair, when more money were sent under CDF administrative component, 58,528 was reimbursed to the council operations account. See Appendix 15. That shows the CDF activities that were done using the council operation accounts. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the said amount, 58,528, has since been paid back to the CDF account, and the council will bear the cost, Chair. Attached is the bank transfer. See Appendix 16. Remedial measures. The council wishes to report that the council will ensure that no transfer funds will occur in future from CDF account to council operations account. Budget performance. The management wishes to report that the council acknowledges findings of Auditor General. The funds received were not spent in time due to the CDF committee allocating funds for projects quarterly in line with the ministry's plan to dispense the CDF quarterly. Furthermore, Chair, the guidance on the soft loan component delayed to come through and therefore would not be processed in time. See Appendix 17. Additionally, Chair, some contractors underperformed and management had terminated the contracts and start the procurement processes, which contributed to the low expenditure on community projects. See Appendix 18, Chair. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that out of the 23,739,911 received for CDF 2022, 19,422,510 has been spent, with remaining money for a few running projects and retention for completed projects. See Appendix 19. For the CDF 2022 income and expenditure summarized report, the CDF committee has now started allocating funds at once to allow for procurement processes for community projects and processing of bursaries, grants, and soft loans to be done on time. See Appendix 20, Chair, to see how the 2023 allocation was handled. Additionally, management advertised and awarded contracts for all the projects that were terminated to new contractors and to ensure that funds are expended once the works are done. Remedial measures, Chair. Management wishes to report that underperforming contractors in the district will not be considered for future significant projects. The CDF committee will also continue allocating all the funds at once and early to allow for all the processes to be done on time. Disbursement of grants, loans, and bursaries will also be dispersed as soon as the approvals are done, Chair. Failure to spend, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council acknowledges the findings of Auditor General. The funds received were not spent in time due to CDF committee allocating funds for projects quarterly in line with the ministry's plan to disperse the CDF quarterly. Some contractors, Chair, underperformed and management had terminated the contracts and start the procurement processes, which contributed to low expenditure on community projects. See Appendix 18. Action taken. Management wishes to report that out of the 16,580,476 allocated for CDF 2022 community projects, 11,227,408 has been spent. The remaining money, Chair, is for a few running projects and retention for completion projects. See Appendix 21. For the list of CDF 2022 community projects showing amounts paid. The CDF committee has now started allocating funds at once to allow for procurement processes for community projects to be done on time. See Appendix 20 to see how the 2023 allocation was handled. Additionally, management advertised and awarded contracts for all the projects that were terminated to new contractors and to ensure that the funds are expended once the works are done. Remedial measures, Chair. The management wishes to report that underperforming contractors in the district will not be considered for future significant projects. The CDF committee will also continue allocating all the funds at once and early to allow for processes to be done on time. Misappropriation of funds. Management wishes to report that Council acknowledges the findings of the Auditor General. 4 groups who received the empowerment grants misappropriated the funds and failed to undertake the approved projects. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the 4 cooperatives who misappropriated the funds have been written to refund the money as they have breached the conditions of the grant agreement. See Appendix 22, Chair. Remedial measures. Management will intensify financial literacy, training, monitoring for grant beneficiaries to better educate and equip the groups to handle the funds. Bursaries, secondary school and skills development, and spent grants. Management wishes to report that Council acknowledges the findings of Auditor General. Applications received for 2022 academic year secondary school bursaries were very low due to limited boarding schools in the district and lack of sensitization.
I think that page is missing. You have it? Can't see it. Please go ahead.
Okay. Management wishes to report that the unspent funds from the bursaries component was varied to community projects and allocated to develop a boarding facility at Lamba Day Secondary School. This was done in a bid to address the shortage of boarding spaces in the district. See Appendix 23. Remedial measures. Management will intensify sensitization across the district so that we receive more secondary school bursary applications. I submit, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Singombe, followed by Honorable Nyambosa and Honorable Simumba. Honorable Singombe.
Chair, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to interrogate the submission. Maybe allow me to give 2 preliminary issues before I finally come to the submission. CS 1, it's very difficult to determine how bad your infrastructure is because you put them in black and white. I think most of them, if not all, they're in color so that MPs are able to see, to grade the beauty of the paints that you are using. So like this, they look like a chicken run because they are in black and white. Secondly, your colleagues, look at the way they are submitting. It's the same thing. Oh, it's coming from here. Oh, maybe can I say congratulations. So far, I think you are the best in terms of what is submitted. Number 3, you didn't sign your report. Okay? Those are my preliminary issues, Chair.
The first cover is signed.
Yeah, the first cover is signed, but at the end, it's not signed. My substantive question is on page 19, secondary school bursaries. Your statement here, Chair, the statement from the CS indicates to me the unspent grants is as a result of not having boarding schools in the district. This money does not limit. You can pay for children who are in Solwezi district. You can pay for children who decide to come and learn in Dundumwezi at Jonathan Sim Secondary School. So for me, are you saying that you have not paid for children who are in boarding schools but outside Mushindamo district. I just want that clarification, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CS. Your mic.
Thank you, Chair.
Amplify
Chair.
your voice again.
Yes. Chair, I think the first thing that we started, this is happening for the first time, Chair. And the first thing that we decided was to look at our own children in the district, the local-based children in the district. And the applications that were received were from the Mshindamo district chair. So maybe going forward, maybe that's when we shall be considering people that are coming from outside. Because we've been told, Chair, that we consider the locals.
Yeah,
Chair, she's missing my point.
No, actually, what the Honorable is saying is that CDF guidelines, you base your payments for that child based on the identification that is coming from the World Development Committee, WDCs. So if, like Honorable Ngombe is saying, if a child is coming from one of the communities in Mushindamo, and there is a signature or approval from WDCs that that child, yes, belongs to that. Even if she goes to lane from outside, that person is still, that pupil or student is still eligible. I think that's, isn't it, Honorable Ngombe? Exactly. Yes. So you will not limit yourself to the Mushindamo district or Mushindamo constituency, as long as we will have those that are able to go outside, maybe Sorwes Trades Training Institute, but there are minutes that they come from your district, so you can still pay for them.
Yes, Chair, you are right. We do pay for them. We have children in Timpongwe boarding school. We have children in Ndola. So we do pay for them. We are just thought we just didn't understand why there was so much low turnout on the application. Otherwise, we do pay for those.
But you should have understood that better than us here in Lusaka. Should have understood that better, because you have a media of the local radio station there. If you
Chair,
don't,
that is when we are developing
okay,
one.
but if you don't have, we have those sensitization meetings, activities, using the councillors, because what is coming to us is that people are not informed. People have no knowledge of what is happening. Sorry for overtaking your question. Maybe you still have follow-ups. What we do, honorable members, we make sure that we exhaust question by question, and then people are able to follow out there how we are proceeding. Yes, Honorable Ngombe.
Yeah,
then
Chair,
Honorable.
you are correct, only that here the statement insinuates that the low levels, actually here, they have indicated two reasons. One, they've said low due to limited boarding schools in the district. Number two is the sensitization that we have indicated. So this is what I wanted to confirm. It means that the facts that you indicated before the Auditor General are not correct. Because if you are paying for children from Mushindamo who are in Pongwe, then it means probably the issue of space in the district does not suffice. However, maybe the issue of low sensitization to the parents around Mushindamo is the one that is holding water in this situation. Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Shagafuso, on the same.
Yes, Chair, on the same, I would like to find out from the witness how much sensitization they have done to increase the uptake of beneficiaries, because we are denying an opportunity to our children to benefit from these grants. And the second one is that the total unspent funds are 2.6 million kwacha, and you have indicated that you varied these funds to build boarding facilities. I note from your appendix, the authority from the minister, the figure is 2.3 million kwacha, leaving a variance of 314,000 kwacha. Where have you applied these funds? I thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Council Secretary.
For sensitization, I will start with sensitization.
Um,
We have
I don't know, maybe you still need to pull the mic closer to yourself. Your voice is too low. You are live on TV and radio, and people that are listening on TV, they are indicating you are low. Please proceed.
on sensitization, Chair, we've done it. It's an ongoing now. Each time we go in the field, each time we have an event in the field, we touch on sensitizing people to apply for these funds, Chair. So that is an ongoing. Then the second question was on the funds.
No, after sensitizing now, what's the situation now?
The situation, Chair, is that if applications for 2024, it's overwhelming, Chair. There's a very good turnout.
Okay, on the same Vice Chair. Yes.
Question number 2 has not been answered,
Okay.
Chair. I can repeat.
Okay.
The total unspent funds is 2.6 million kwacha. And you've reported to this committee that you have since spent this money on boarding activities through community projects. However, I note through the authority that was given to you to vary this amount. The authority given is in the total of 2.3 million kwacha, and there's a variance, funds remaining of 314,000 kwacha. My question is, where have you applied these funds? Are they still in the bank?
Chair, the remainder of the funds was spent under schemes. Skills. Yes,
You are
sir.
free. What we are doing, Council Secretary, is we are having a conversation with you. So where you feel somebody, one of your officers is able to help you, please feel free to say no. Let me call upon my Director of Finance, the DPO. They are able to help you so that you give us the factual information.
Thank you, Chair. I think maybe Director of Works can help me on that one. Thank you.
Director?
Thank you, Chair. So the remainder of the money was spent under skills. I think we've attached a summarized expenditure sheet that shows that the whole money under skills and secondary school bursaries has now been spent.
So on the appendix what?
Appendix
19. Appendix 19.
Chair, under Appendix 19, there's a sheet that says income and expenditure summarized report, CDF 2022, as at 31st December 2023.
I'm still struggling to get that document. Maybe it's Secretariat. What's the heading again? Members, you have seen the document? Yeah.
Follow up
On the same?
The question from Honorable Shakafuswa. Let me see.
Yes.
The question from Honorable Shakafuswa was very specific. He was inquiring about the balance of 314.
Yeah.
Now, this one is a total income and expenditure for the whole CDF for 2022.
Yeah.
Now, the question was very specific. If the Director of Works can take us through where this money from the 2.6 million, you asked for variation and the ministry granted, there was a balance of 314. How would you explain, particularly for that expenditure, where you took it? I thought that was the question.
Yes. Director of Works, specifically just the balance. Yes.
Yes, perhaps do you have a sheet as evidence to show us that the balance you spend it for bursaries for this number of children that were sponsored?
No, we don't. However, as I stated earlier, that because they're under one vote, what we varied correctly is 2.3. Whatever remained has been exhausted under the skills component.
Yes, no, we appreciate that explanation. Yes. But what it is like everybody else is saying, this committee is evidence-based committee, and we take your submission based on documentary evidence. So when you don't have the document, to us, we don't know where that money is. We can't take it that you paid the skills. To us, it's outstanding. We don't know where it is. And we'll be very interested to know where that money is. Auditor General's office.
What the chair is saying, and Honorable Shakafuswa, is that we are looking at the budget for 2022. How you use the money for 2022. You realize you had 2.6 million still outstanding on skills development. And you ask for permission to vary and take the money to community projects, which you did, commendable. There was a balance of 314 for 2022 as at December. How did you use this money as for 2022? Because it was still sitting in the accounts. What decisions did you make on the 314 for 2022? Or you left it in the account, then it came to be carried forward to 2023? That's when you made other decisions. That's the interrogation that we're trying to do. The whole gist of the question is, are you able to spend the money that is given to you in a particular financial year? Or you have money sitting, you have nothing to do with it, then you wait for the next financial year. That is the point.
All right, so you have admitted that you don't have the documentary evidence on what you have done with that money, isn't it, for 2022? That's the position, right, Director?
Yes, we haven't come with the documentary evidence.
Auditor General's office, there is an issue there, and we would want you to verify when you visit those people, probably, and then get the right record for us, because that money is not accounted for. The Vice Chair has been aiming to say something.
Yes, thank you, Chair, for giving me an opportunity. It's just a follow-up on Honorable Shaka Foswa's observation, or rather comment, on the issue of sensitization. My question, Chair, through you would be, especially that I'm female and a very strong advocate for gender, the girl child. Knowing where your council is coming from, it's a rural, and I know there are issues of early marriages, but I'm given a lot of comfort from you, Council Secretary, that there's been more application, than before. So my question then, Chair, through you would be, how many or what percentage is that of the girl child in terms of the application? Are you taking that into consideration? Because obviously one of government's strong policies is also equity in terms of how we balance off in terms of education, especially in the rural area. Is your council aware? Are you actually implementing that? And are you also using the local leadership in terms of advocacy, in terms of education, and who comes to apply? So really my main focus is, do you have a percentage, since you are saying that there has been an increment in terms of application, what percentage is that is female or the girl child? Thank you, Chair. That would be my...
Council Secretary?
Chair, I might not really know the actual percentage, but what I can say is there's a lot of improvement, especially on the girl child. There are a lot of early marriages in Mshindamo, yes. We've been sensitizing women to bring their children to school. There is an improvement, Chair.
Thank you.
That is what I can say. Thank you.
Honorable Nyambose wanted, is it Shaka Foswa?
Yeah, a different question, Chair.
Oh, it's different, okay. Let's move on.
Chair, question number, on page 3, number 1.
Question number 1.
Chair, I want to appreciate the opportunity once again, and I want to also say that in terms of report preparation, the way the file was done, I think this is the best in terms of the file. But in terms of the report, it's the opposite. And I want to take you to page 3, Chair. Construction of 1x3 classroom block at Kachire Primary School by Brico Multipurpose Cooperative Society. Chair, on October 12th, 2022, the Council revised the contract and amended the contract from rehabilitation of a 1x2 classroom block to construction of a new 1x3 classroom block at a contract price of 811,301. The contract was for a period from 24th October 2022 to 23rd February 2023. The revised scope included, I will not go to the scope, as at 28th September 2023, Chair, amounts totaling 477,755 kwacha had been spent. The following were observed. The auditor's observation, I'm sure. I'm very sure. Irregular amendments and variation. Chair, contrary to the Act, the Council amended the contract from 178,609 to 811,301 without prior written authority of the appropriate approval authority. Approval by the Treasury, and the legal advice from Attorney General. Chair, action taken by management. Management wishes to report that responsible officers were written caution letters to instruct them to rigorously abide by the public procurement. My question, Chair, is, here is a council, Mshindamo Council. They undertake to do a project at 178,000 kwacha, 1 by 2. Later on, it is demolished. They vary the contract without all the authorities. On their own in Mshindamo, they undertake to do a 1 by 3 Kasumblo. Chair, my question is, how can the council secretary undertake projects without authority? The authority here, I want to see the minutes from CDF committee. I want to see the contract, the initial contract and the second contract. What you have attached in this document, it is not even a detailed contract. Contrary to the regulations, you as Mshindamo, you just undertake to vary to 811,000 kwacha and do so. The question, Chair, is the letter of caution to the assistant procurement officer, I'm sure he's around, is only done after the audit. They overlook the procurement processes. They overlook all the processes, not even Attorney General, Chair. Chair, I came late. I was speaking letters from Attorney General for my council. Them in Mshindamo, they have no regard, they have no time for all these authorities. Why do you do that, Council Secretary? Can you explain how you undertook this project without authority? You have not shown us even the 1 by 2 which you brought down. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Maybe before the response from the council chair, the council secretaries, let me just take 2 minutes to get to know these officers. When did you go, council secretary? When did you go to Mushinda?
2022. Yeah.
2022. Which month?
May 2022.
All right. And next? When? September 2023.
Chair, 2023, September.
Okay, and next?
Chair, 2022, June.
Okay.
Chair, January 2023.
Next? That's Director of Works.
Chair, I went in May 2023.
So
as District Planning Officer.
So it's relatively, you switch off your mics?
Internal auditor, I went in 2020.
2020. Thank you very much. So it's a relatively new team, but I'm not excusing you from these, because when you heard the emphasis from the Member of Parliament. But before you respond, Council Secretary, just on the same, so that we, yes, Honorable Kamondo, a short one, not again you confuse you.
Those are strong instructions.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I'm not going to confuse her, but I take keen interest.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, this is gross misconduct and not supposed to be taken like a simple issue. Why am I saying so? Just like Honorable Nyambose has spoken, I think for me, I know now the reason why Mushindamo is being rated to be actually almost the last one in Northwestern Province. Even the letter that was written to the procurement officer, is that enough as a punitive measure? Why are they taking matters which are seriously being done just anyhow? Like they are just trivializing the matters. Why is it that only, maybe if I may ask, after this letter which was written on to the procurement officer for the future irregularities, and then you just write like that, and there is no response from this, no punitive measure. What else could you have done apart from just writing them a letter? So to deter future irregularities, because that could show that indeed you are very serious. Even the remedial measures that you have taken, even the way you are reporting, you are telling us now, you are telling this committee that the project had already reached an advanced stage at this time of audit, when a matter was very serious. And you think, because by reporting this, it looks like even everyone, and do you think the people of Mushindamo were happy to see actually these projects actually dragging? And I'm sure even the people of Mushindamo, they don't even know that this project, which was at 178, it had gone now to 800.
Yeah, like I guided Honorable Kamondo, that you should have a short one, and I got the short one, that this is a very serious matter. And the action against the alleged misconduct. Maybe I will allow you, Council Secretary, to say something about it on the concerns of the members.
Thank you, Chair. The processes, Chair, were all done. The only omission that the council did was to send the clearance contract for clearance at the Attorney General. The project that we are talking about, Chair, was constructed by the community. First, it was a community school. They constructed using mud, Chair. And when we were looking at rehabilitation, we were looking at it the way it was looking, because they plastered it with cement. So when the contractor moved on site, Chair, when he started working on the project,
thank you for
collapsed.
For your attempt, but I want to advise or guide Council Secretary that you may wish even to withdraw the sentence where you say all processes were followed. Why we are here today is because the Auditor General raised that query, and we had an opportunity as Mushindano Council to rebut that, to guide the Auditor General's office. That query wouldn't have appeared here. So the fact that it's just like we are talking about the 300 plus 314, which is unaccounted for. To us, we are interrogating. We invited you to appear before this committee because there is this query. Which query you failed to answer when these people came to your institution? So when the auditors say the approvals, appropriate approvals, authority, approval by Treasury, legal advice from the Attorney General was not given, was not done, and then you say all the processes were followed. You are, let's be mindful of the Cap 12. You are almost misleading or misguiding this committee. We want you to be you relax and give us the information. What you don't have, Council Secretary, you don't have. We even appreciate, that's why I asked when you went there, because we are going to go into this deeper than just meeting you, okay? So give us the information that you have, except say, no, yes, this was not done. So maybe my members, Honorable Smumba.
Chair, thank you very much, and I appreciate the responses from the Council Secretary. You are saying that all the processes were followed. I'll take you also on the same to page 8, failure to follow tender procedures. On page 8, since the one which Honorable Nyambose had asked, you have said you followed the procedure and the processes were followed. I would want to find out on this one again, why didn't you get a clearance from the Attorney General. Again, on the same. Since that one, all the processes were followed. I would want to have a comment on this one. I submit, Chair.
Okay. Yes, we need to.
Thank you, Chair.
All of you on the same. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair.
Carol.
Chair, as you have said, this is a very serious committee, and we are dealing with public resources. First, I wonder whether Mushindamo is a part of the governance system. Councils are regulated institutions. Whatever you do, there is a regulation. Do's and don'ts. And there is no council, is this the first council I've heard, they could go ahead without authority from Attorney General. Then she comes to tell the nation that no, we did everything, the only thing is Attorney General, which is a must and a very critical clearance. You cannot undertake without clearance. Instead of being remorseful and saying, we are sorry, she's justifying that they are okay. Chair, this awarding of the contract, she further goes to say that the 178,000 kwacha, 1 by 2, they brought it down. The community of Mushindamo themselves, that was helping them. Instead of renovating it as per requirement, then they come to erase it to the ground. And she's justifying that we brought it down because it was mud and brick. That was a community school. You could have done the 1 by 3 separately, and that one could have been a relief. But all this is done with impunity, and the action to the procurement officer is just cautioning that procurement officer that in the future, you are cautioned for the future misconduct. Chairperson, I want to find out, where is this procurement officer who was transferred and promoted having messed up in Mushindamo? This is gross misconduct, and the Chair, my appeal is that the Minister of Local Government should take note of what is happening as we are proceeding with Mushindamo. This is one of the bad reports. Public resources being abused, public resources being spent without care. And they tell you that we can do without Attorney General. We can do without this authority. I've not seen any authority. And I want to track that officer who, together with the council secretary, she was there in May, June, together with our friend here, the internal auditor. How did you allow these payments?
All right.
Contrary to the regulation.
Thank you very much. Honorable Shakafuswa.
Chair, on the same, the report says that the 1 by 2 classroom block under the contingency component, but the structure collapsed during repair. They've told us to look at Appendix 1 to see the picture of the collapsed classroom block. I've gone through Appendix 1, 2, 3. I have not seen where you're saying Appendix 1. Further, you are saying the CDF committee then allocated more funds under the community projects for a new 1 by 3 classroom block. Appendix 2, which shows the CDF committee minutes. And we have attached these minutes dated 1st June 2022. CS, show us in these minutes where it gives authority to construct a new 1 by 3 classroom block. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. Before we do that, Director of Works, let me allow the Auditor General to make a comment. Auditor General.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. This contract, as we have read, started at 178,000. Then they decided to vary it to 811. Just looking at the amount, it's beyond the 25%. So they needed to redo the whole process all over. If it meant advertising, they should have advertised because it's beyond the allowed threshold for variation. And then also in terms of the action taken, the disciplinary action is only meted on the procurement officer. But this is a decision that was made by a committee, either the procurement committee or was it the CDF committee? So just to caution one person is not enough. It was a whole committee that made this decision. So a lot more should have been done. So in terms of variation, all the processes, if it's a procurement committee, attorney general, the whole procurement process should have been followed. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, looking at this very issue, I think after listening to the submissions that are coming from the council and the members, of course, I summoned the senior clerk. We need to make consultations because now one thing is evident, true, that the avoidance of getting clearance from the Auditor General was because Auditor General was going to advise, Attorney General was going to advise, like what the Auditor General's office is saying, that you have to start because of that amount, the whole process. But we don't understand the appetite that the council had at that time of wanting to vary or to use the money in that manner. Unfortunately, this committee will always follow the law to the letter, because what we believe that the financial regulations are adequate. Financial regulations and the guidelines, especially on CDF, are adequate, and the councils are supposed to abide by those. Any deviation from that will not be taken by this committee, by the government, by the owners of the money, the citizens of this country. I was making some consultations. We'll make a decision, but we'll definitely have to find the people that made this decision and help us to understand why they arrived at that. That is unavoidable, unfortunately. We'll do that. So, honorable members, may I advise that maybe we skip this one for now and go to other questions. This is a very serious matter that will require our attention. Next question, yes, Honorable Mwene.
Thank you so much, Chair. CS, I would like to take it to page
what?
Page 6. On failure to follow tender procedures.
Page 6.
CS, if I can read on top there, just the page 6.
Page 6.
On top there, CS, second paragraph is saying, contrary to the Act, a review of 15 contracts for rehabilitation, construction of classrooms, clinics, and bridges, which were awarded to a total contract sum of 5,767,281 kwacha, reviewed that the contracts were awarded without following tender procedures. We can go on reading. The projects have been listed there. My question, CS, is why did your council decide to do these works without following normal tender procedures in Mushindamu? Thank you.
Council Secretary.
Chair, I think it was, first of all, I would like to apologize for misleading the House. I'm sorry, Chair.
No.
Now the question is that, yes, Chair, the failure to follow tender procedures, Chair, again, it's coming to not submitting to Attorney General. That is what is there, Chair.
So, honorable members, we can belabor, but this is just the same thing. So Yes, so it requires there's something. Maybe we can go to another question. We only have 20 minutes with these people. No, Honorable, let's be orderly. Honorable Sumombe,
Thank you very much, Chair. On page 9,
page 9.
yes, on the failure to claim advance payment. The council secretary is indicating that the council could not recover the advance payment as the bonds had expired. This was caused by poor tracking. I just wanted further clarification from the CS as to what caused the poor tracking of projects.
Thank you.
On the same chair, thank you very much. I wanted to know also if the council chair have officers responsible for project management, and if so, what are some of the punishable offenses or other cases that you have given to that particular officer who was responsible for this payment, because the government has lost a lot of money. Thank you, Chair.
On the same, let me guide again. Honorable Gamondo, it should be short. Please go ahead. Then Honorable Nyambos.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I want to find out from the council secretary. How often were you doing the monitoring? And if you were doing, how often? If you didn't do, why?
What also we advised.
On the same. Chair.
No lecture.
Yes, Chair. I'll go to the same chair. Say, however, the contractor failed to mobilize on site, citing difficulties to transport the box files to the box culverts to site. Chair, here is a contractor who agrees. He takes site possession. He agrees that I'm going to do these works. Then he gets the money. After getting the money, he fails to deliver. Then the management cites that they say that because of the bad road. How did the contractor agree to get the money when he knew that there was a bad road? Then he fails to. The letter to the contractor, Chair, was only written on 20th June 2023 for him to refund. 20th December 2023 for him to refund. And now they have entered in an agreement, negotiating, and he has told the council conditions, I can only pay in February or in whatever. When he got these public resources, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nyambose. Council Secretary, we are stuck, with these issues. And this is the reason, like I indicated, that we are making serious consultations around. I've sent him to get in touch with local government, but we had advised, like everyone know, that the local government service commission was supposed to be sending somebody here, because we would have consulted there and then. But to be in a situation we are in, where in the first place, when this contractor comes, the contractor comes to the local authority with full knowledge. I hope Honorable Nyambose, you are listening to your submission. The contractor comes to the local authority with full knowledge, and the management have the knowledge, or they know where this site is. And that person comes to get a contract. He knows how that road is. Then he turns around and says, no, it's impassable. He knew before he did that. and the council pays, and the council can't claim. Honestly, are these public resources or their personal monies? With all the guidance, with all the regulations. And then I saw justification of poor tracking. Poor tracking, we have the director of works. Your duties right from the foundation, the slab level, structure, superstructure, is to monitor the implementation of this. Now, if we come around and say maybe it has been those things, we have the vehicle, you have the monies. In most of these councils, the administrative component is used for meetings. If you check on the mileage and you gauge where this vehicle has been going, 3/4 is just meetings, not into the field, in the district, in the constituency. So poor tracking is failing to carry out somebody's being negligence of duty. Because every time, and this is the reason as to why government thought it through the president, that which projects will be monitored. And here is fuel, here is the vehicle. What is missing there? It's human resource.
Bullet addition, Chairman.
Yes.
Do we see this contractor being reported to the police for
obtaining money by false
pretenses?
Of course.
Do we see him getting reported to the police by our local authority?
Because at least if he had gone on site, but he got the money and did nothing. That's what the report is
Another
saying.
bullet point.
Please.
This committee is an oversight committee to check on the compliance and whatever. But what is sitting in this report, Chair, is more criminal. Do we see interest from security wings to take interest to do more? Chair, when has I highlighted this, I can highlight another one. You go beyond. I don't know. I just wanted. I'm talking to you, not them. Chair, do you see other wings to help? This is plunder.
What we are saying, honourable members of this honourable committee, is that at times local authorities are making our work unnecessarily difficult by failing to apply their time, their skill, their profession to what they are employed for. They are making our work very difficult. Can you imagine that the whole internal auditor, I know you are relatively new, can you imagine you internal auditor or internal auditor, can you imagine the internal auditor is there? When the internal auditor is there, they go ahead and pay without the Attorney General's clearance. What is his duty? He is supposed to object. No, we can't pay. There is this. We always talk of one wonderful lady here, internal auditor, a young lady from Kafue. She objected the payment. She said, no, we can't pay because one document is missing here. We can't pay because 2 documents are missing here. But here is an internal auditor, because even before you look at the details, just the amount of money from 111, it's an eye opener. It should raise eyebrows to the internal auditor. Say, no, how did we get to this? Do we have everything followed here? Just the amount. It should generate some interest. Internal auditor, did you see that payment? Did you see it?
Chair, this payment was seen.
No, sir. I want you to answer me. I'm saying, did you see that payment?
Yes, the payment was seen.
No. You're not answering my question. I'm saying, have you seen? Yes, I've seen. Not it was seen. By who? Did you see that payment yourself?
Yes, I saw the payment.
You saw it?
Yes, sir.
And you okayed it?
This is one of
No, sir. I'm saying, did you okay it since you saw it?
This payment actually wasn't okay on the.
You didn't approve it.
No, on the payment vouchers, it's actually blank as we are speaking.
Sir, you know, we want to help each other. I'm saying, did you see it? You said you saw it.
Yes, sir.
Did you okay it? Did you sign on it?
No, it hasn't been signed, sir.
You didn't sign?
No, sir.
Did you raise this to your management?
Yeah, the query was raised. It was actually one of the queries that was raised in one of our audit committee meetings.
No, before you explain, I'm saying when you ask the management that you cannot allow that or you will not approve that yourself,
Yes,
you
sir.
wrote to them. Did you write to them? Or how did you object it?
Actually, the treasurer was informed about it, and it was discussed with the treasurer.
No, sir. You are a professional.
Yes, sir.
I don't know these things. I'm not an auditor. Me, I'm just a vuvuzela here. I'm saying if you saw it, you have, because you must document it, eh?
Yes, sir.
You wrote to the treasurer. If you discussed with the treasurer, did you write to him?
It was written in form of reports to the committee.
To the committee?
Yes,
Or to management?
Yes, management and audit committee.
You have the document?
No, sir, we don't have the document.
But you wrote?
Yes.
Can you avail that document?
It wasn't carried.
No, I'm saying if you have it, because eventually the decision that we are making, we could call your colleagues that we worked with at that time. So at that time, we need all the documents, including the document that you are talking about.
Yes, Chair.
Honorable Shakafosa, I wanted to ask something.
Yes, he was saying that he discussed it with the Director of Finance. Do you report to the Director of Finance?
Well, I report to the Council Secretary.
Did you inform her?
Normally what happens is we have a weekly management meeting, so...
Did you inform the CS?
We talked about it. We talked about it, we informed the CS.
Let's go to page 16.
Page 16 of the report.
Yes, Chair. Unauthorized transfer of funds between accounts. Section 32(5) of the Public Finance Management Act number 1 of 2018 states, a transfer of public money should not be made between two accounts at the same bank or different banks without the written approval of the Secretary to the Treasury. Contrary to the Act, on 21st September 2022, the Council transferred an amount of 58,528 kwacha from the CDF account to the district fund without prior authority from the Secretary to the Treasury. Are you aware of this provision, Auditor?
Yes, I am.
Through the chair.
Through the chair, why did you not adhere to this provision?
First of all, Chair, our role as internal audit is to actually assess, verify, and advise the Council Secretary.
Yes.
So we do not really have the entirety of authority to stop a payment, but we can advise, and after advising the Council Secretary, I think the Council Secretary has to take it up with the Director of Finance in order for a payment to actually either go through or the payment not to go through.
Chair.
So at that point...
Chair, through you.
Just a minute, Honorable Sumumba. Yes, you know, internal auditor.
Yes, Chair.
We are not saying you go and stop the payment. There is a payment. There is an example that I was just giving. The payment went through in Kafue. It went through. But the auditor his notes that are advised on this day, on this day, on this day. But they went ahead. If they ignore you, it's okay. But you would have done your job. And you would have presented a documented evidence that you are advised is your role. If they go ahead, it's not your problem. And this is where we we are saying, did you do this? Did you do this? That's why everybody is getting concerned. This money transferred from account to account without authority. And you saw it. So that was going to be one of the notes that we are going to make.
Yes, Chair.
Honorable Simumba, then Tumena.
Through you, Chair, I would want one-on-one question and answer just for a minute with the Auditor General. Auditor, I mean the internal auditor. The question is, did you assess this payment? This payment, did you assess it and did you verify? If you have verified, did you advise what you're supposed to do to the Council Secretary? If you did that, do you have anywhere your notes to prove to this committee that you did your part? It's only the management that didn't follow your advice? Chair, I submit.
Thank you. Honorable Mwene.
Thank you so much. Mine goes to CS. CS. Anyways, since the auditor hasn't yet responded, we needed response. But CS also to acknowledge that she was advised by the auditor that this wasn't right, but she decided with the accountant, chief accountant or treasurer, to go ahead in spite of being advised that it wasn't right. Can she confirm that she was advised that this isn't right, and then she decided to go ahead doing the wrong? Thank you.
The same. Thank you.
Chair, this is very interesting. For me, I marked when I read, I said it's unparliamentary. I said they have started stealing CDF money. That's what I marked in the night. It is strange. They have now seen they're taking money to this account. The question, Chair, is, I want to read further. I've checked the vouchers, Chair. It is not even dated. It's here. The voucher has no date, and it is not audited. But you didn't take some notes. Now, Chair, it goes to what Honorable Mwena is saying. What has motivated this council to go ahead? You can't follow tender procedure, you can't follow Attorney General. Now you have started following now CDF money you can get, take to your operations account. What has come of us as a management for us to go this way? Council Secretary, just to augment what Honorable Mwene has said. What is happening?
Council Secretary.
Maybe point of collection. The money was gotten from district account to CDF, not from CDF to district. We ran out of administrative component and we had the program to undertake under CDF. And we thought we cannot leave that project unattended to when we have the money in the district account. So we got the money knowing that when CDF comes, we shall recover from CDF to district account. That is what we did, Chair. Thank you.
Yes, if you look at, and that's why, Council Secretary, I keep on going back, that if it was as easy as you are explaining, it was going to be very easy for you to iron this one out with the auditors. It wouldn't have come here if you did that. But you had to leave it because to us, if it comes here as a query, it means that particular local authority is guilty of that particular query. And this is the reason as to why they could not resolve behind the curtains with the Auditor General's office. And when they don't do that, then we go down and dig more deeper to find out why that thing could not be resolved by the two parties. And everything that appears here will not just end at your submission, because the responses that you are providing to to the queries. We want to go deeper on those responses and make sure we find out as to why. And if it's something that is you can resolve, at times we would ask, just like we asked the Auditor General in the first place, that Auditor General, you need to go back and find out where the 314,000 is, or where it went, whether it was used on what they have submitted. But we are so independent and want to do the best. Council Secretary, we seemingly not progressing with our session. By and large, some responses are not satisfactory because, like I'm saying, by and large, because maybe most of you were not there. It's a tradition of this committee to summon anyone to help us, just to help us clarify these issues. So with that said, we want to suspend this session until further notice. We'll advise you when you can come back, because ultimately we want the people that were on the ground to be able to help us with these things, so that you from where you are taking it from, 2023, going forward, we don't see this. So we want to see how these decisions were being, made. So with that said, Council Secretary, we want to say, very unfortunate, we regret that we didn't conclude with you because of many unanswered queries in all these things. It's not good. The President, the government, the intention is to make sure that service is delivered. The intention is that there is a prudence in the way we manage, in the way we utilize the public funds. But if there is going to be intentional abuse of public funds by ignoring very important stakeholders, very important officers like the Office of the Auditor General, Attorney General, sorry, I'm used to our neighbors, Attorney General, then it becomes very difficult. And we will not swear away from that. We will not close our eyes to anything, any shortcut that our colleagues in local authorities would want to apply. We will not agree with them. We want you to take development to Mushinda. It's relative. It's a new district, a very, very brand new district. And we want that district to catch up with other developed districts, developed constituencies. And how do we get that? We get that through the officers that are appointed to carry out those duties, the officers that are appointed to utilize the resources that the government is sending there. Because fortunately, maybe this wasn't happening before, but today, every constituency, if there is 20,000 in Mushindamo, there is 20,000 in Vowi, there is 20,000, there is 20,000 in Karumbira, there is 20,000 in Kazungula. Everybody, if there is a monitoring vehicle there, it's everywhere. That alone should, encourage us to work hard, and we should know that actually the government has a direction. It's aiming to get somewhere. I want to repeat this, that it should be not the local authority officers, not the technocrats. When they are rating us, your member of parliament is just seated behind there. When they are rating him, did they write your name? Council Secretary, Director of Works, Internal Auditor. They wrote, Honorable Katakwe, 20%. No, I'm just giving an example. They will give him 0%. But he doesn't come there to monitor the project, to go there and start, monitoring the implementation, doing everything. We have technocrats. But they will write against his name. That is very unfortunate. Even you wouldn't love that. There is no way, if your child is stealing, the police will always want to arrest you and put you in custody for the sins of your child. Why should Honorable Katagwe be seen like he's not working? when he has a team on the ground that is supposed to help him to do that, who have no kind words to the local authorities. Members of parliament, they are elected by the people, and the people are demanding a lot from them, and they want the local authorities to help them achieve that goal. Because when they say we will bring a clinic here, the clinic should go there. We are going to put up a bridge here at this crossing point, it should go there. We are going to make sure that our youths are in skills training institutions. That should be done. We are preaching to every local authority. Thank you for making appearance, and we can only wish you well as you go back. Make sure that we do the right thing. Together, we can develop this nation. With that said, let me withdraw the immunity before this man sits. Please, you are free to leave. You are free to leave. That's why.
Here is an announcement from National Assembly. The following committee meetings over the standing committees for the third session over the 13th National Assembly will start sitting on the following date. Committee on Energy, Water Development and Tourism will sit from 16th to 27th January 2024 in Fanyanga, Mulikita, under the topic, the implementation of a monthly fuel price reviews in Zambia. Committee on National Security and Foreign Affairs will sit from 16th to 27th January 2024 in Robinson, Naburiato, under the topic, the state of infrastructure at borders and ports of entry into the country. Committee on National Guidance and Gender Matters will sit from 30th January to 10th February 2024 in Committee Room number 4, under the topic, the review of the gender-based violence response and programming vis-a-vis establishment of victims' shelters, fast-track courts, and the Anti-Gender-Based Violence Fund. Committee on Education, Science and Technology will sit from 30th January to 10th February 2024 in Committee Room number 5, under the topic, a review of the implementation of the education curriculum. Committee on Health, Community Development and Social Services will sit from 30th January to 10th February 2024 in Committee Room number 3 under the topic Devolution of Primary Health Care Services in Zambia. Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labor Matters will sit from 30th January to 10th February 2024 in Committee Room Number 1 under the topic A Review over the Informal Labor Sector and its Contribution to the Economy. Members of the public and other interested parties may contact the following officers in the office of the clerk. Mr. Stephen Chiwota, Director of Financial Committees, on telephone number 292-425 up to 36. Mrs. Doreen N.C. Mukwanka, Director, Social Committees, telephone number 292-425 up to 36. This information is available on the National Assembly website www.parliament.gov.zm.
Cholera is an acute diarrheal infection caused by ingestion of food or water contaminated with the bacterium Vibrio cholerae.
Symptoms of cholera include vomiting, diarrhea, and dehydration.
How do you prevent cholera?
Be sure to drink and use safe water that has been boiled or chlorinated.
Wash your hands with soap and safe water before handling the food or after using the toilet.
Use clean water to wash your vegetables and fruits. Avoid eating foods from the street that have been exposed to flies.
Always eat food that is completely cooked and hot.
Make sure to visit your nearest health care center when you have suspected cholera cases.
Remember, prevention is better than cure.
Here is an announcement from National Assembly. The following committee meetings of the standing committees for the third session of the 13th National Assembly will start sitting on the following dates. Committee on Agriculture, Lands and Natural Resources will sit from 16th to 27th January 2024 in Robinson, Nabuliato, under the topic Carbon Markets and Trading in Zambia, Opportunities and Challenges. Committee on Cabinet Affairs will sit from 16th to 27th January 2024 in Wesley, Nyirenda, under the topic Review over the Operations and Management of a Smart Zambia. Committee on Government Assurances will sit from 16th to 27th January 2024 in Thomas Williams, under the topic Selected Government Assurances. Committee on Legal Affairs, Human Rights and Governance will sit from 16th to 27th January 2024 in Amusa Mwanamwambwa, under the topic The Fight Against Corruption in Zambia. Committee on Local Governance, Housing and Chiefs Affairs will sit from 16th to 27th January 2024 in Committee Room Number 4, under the topic A Review over the Implementation of the Constituency Development Fund. Committee on Media, Information and Communication Technologies will sit from 16th to 27th January 2024 in Committee Room Number 1 under the topic Zambia ICT Infrastructure vis-a-vis Financial Technology Growth. Members of the public and other interested parties may contact the following officers in the office of the clerk. Mr. Stephen Chiwota, Director of Financial Committees, on telephone number 292-425 up to 36. Mrs. Doreen N.C. Mukwanka, Director, Social Committees, telephone number 292-425 up to 36. This information is available on the National Assembly website www.parliament.gov.zm.
The clerk of the National Assembly of Zambia wishes to inform all members of parliament and the general public that the third session of the 13th National Assembly, which adjourned sine die on Friday 15th December 2023, will resume on Tuesday 13th February 2024 at 14:30 hours.
watching Parliament Television, a station that brings Parliament closer to you.
Here is an announcement from National Assembly. The following committee meetings of the standing committees for the third session of the 13th National Assembly will start sitting on the following date. Committee on Transport, Works and Supply will sit from 30th January to 10th February 2024 in Fanyanga Mulikita under the topic Road Freight Transport in Zambia. Committee on Youth, Sport and Child Matters will sit from 30th January to 10th February 2024 in Wesley, Nyerenda under the topic Drug and Substance Abuse Among Youths in Zambia. Committee on Reforms and Modernization will sit from 30th January to 10th February 2024 in Thomas Williams under the topic Proxy Voting for Members in the Chamber. Committee on Delegated Legislation will sit from 30th January to 10th February 2024 in Amusa Mwanamwambwa under the topic Selected Statutory Instruments. Committee on Public Accounts will sit in February to March 2024 in Fanyanga Mulikita under the topic Treasury Minutes and Other Emerging Reports. Committee on Local Government Accounts will sit from 8th January to March 2024 in Robinson Nabuliato under the topic Audit Report on the Accounts of Local Authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2022 and report on the utilization of a Constituency Development Fund. Committee on Planning and Budgeting will sit from 19th February to 1st March 2024 in Wesley, Nyerenda